Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In the last video, we have discussed three methods for the determination of the state transition matrix. The first one was using the Laplace transformation. The second one was using the diagonalization. And the third one was the similarity transformation matrix. Now in this video, we are going to discuss two more methods for the determination of the state transition matrix. The first one is the Sylvester method. So when minimum polynomial of A involves only distinct roots, then you can use this equation to find out the state transition matrix. The first row is obtained by using the eigenvalues lambda 1, lambda 2 and so on up to lambda m minus 1. All of these are the eigenvalues, the closed loop poles of your system, right? Then the second row is this one, and over here you have the second eigenvalue. Lambda 1 is the first eigenvalue. This is the exponential ones. These are simply the eigenvalues and these are the exponentials of those eigenvalues. And similarly, for all of these eigenvalues, you can set up the rows. So the last row, that will be this one, and the last entry of that one will be the state transition matrix. So if you set up this equation, the determinant of this one will be equal to 0, and by setting it equal to 0, you can solve it for state transition matrix. So I am just going to give you the information that how you can determine the state transition matrix. I am not going into the derivation of this one. For that you can refer to the basic linear algebra book. Over there you can find out the Sylvester method. So I am just going to use that to determine the state transition matrix. So this is phi of t STM that is obtained by setting up this matrix, setting up this determinant equal to 0, and this determinant or this equation is obtained by looking at the eigenvalues of your system. So now let's solve an example that will help us to understand this Sylvester method. So we need to set up this equation. So for that, first step is to determine the eigenvalues. So let's suppose that the matrix A of the system is this one, that is the state matrix, and from this one we can determine the eigenvalues, and if you solve it for eigenvalues, those will be 0 and minus 2. So now we can set up this Sylvester equation, you can say, with the help of this one. So we know the eigenvalues. The first eigenvalue is 0, and second one is minus 2, right? So using these one, you can write down the Sylvester equation. So let's look at this one. Just I'm going to reduce the size. Okay, so from this equation, the first row will be equal to 1 lambda 1 lambda 2 lambda 1 square lambda 1 cube and so on. So as we have only two eigenvalues, so we will be having only three rows. The first set of these ones, these are for m eigenvalues, and the last row is this one. So the order of our matrix will be 3 cross 3 for the 2 cross 2 matrix of A. Okay, how to write down the first row? 1 lambda 1 e raised power lambda 1 t, because 3 cross 3 matrix is there. So we have this one, we have this term, we have this term, and we have this term. Then for the second row, 1 lambda 2 and e raised power lambda 2. So this is the second row, and this one identity matrix, matrix A, and the state transition matrix. If you will be having the matrix A of 3 cross 3, then the Sylvester equation will be of 4 cross 4, and in that it will be 1 lambda 1, then lambda 1 square, and then e raised power lambda t. So from here you can write down this equation, right? So now you know the eigenvalues 0 and minus 2. So using that you can write down this equation like this, and Now you can expand this determinant. So expanding this determinant equation, we can write this equation. So using the first row, we can write it like that, minus 2 e raised power minus 2t a into e raised power at. This will be multiplied with 1 minus, this part is 0, so then plus 1 into 1 minus 2 I and a, right? So using this part and this part. Okay, expanding it with the help of the first row. So if you expand it and if you simplify this one, you are going to get this equation, and from here you are supposed to determine the state transition matrix EAT. So solving it for EAT, you are going to get this equation. Now you have A, you have the identity matrix, right? So you can find out the state transition matrix. So state transition matrix is given by this equation, right? So if you simplify this one, this is 1, because we have 0 plus 2 divided by 2. Okay, yes, it is 1. So 1, this one 1 by 2 into 1 minus e raised power minus 2t, and this is 0 and e raised power minus 2t. So this is our state transition matrix for this particular system using the Sylvester method. So in this Sylvester method, first of all, you are going to set up this Sylvester equation, and Sylvester equation is set up with the help of this matrix. It depends upon the number of eigenvalues, and that depends upon the order of your system. So for a 2 cross 2, you will be having basically a 3 cross 3 from here. This is the row in which you have the state transition matrix. Basically, it is a, all of these are the matrices over here. So from this one you can find out the state transition matrix. Okay, now let's look at the next method, that is the Cayley-Hamilton method. So again, I'm just going to explain to you that how we can use it to determine the state transition matrix. For its derivation, you can again refer to your textbook and some basic linear algebra book. Okay, so the state transition matrix using the Cayley-Hamilton method is given by this equation, right? So this is the identity matrix. This is your matrix A, state matrix of your system, the square of that one, and so on. And these are the you can say the constants which are determined with the help of the eigenvalues. So let's suppose that we have in generic alpha kt, where k is varying from 0 to m minus 1. Looking at this equation, this is 0, this is alpha 1, this is alpha 2, and so on up to m minus 1 power. Okay, so these will be the alpha terms, and these can be determined using the following equations. So here you can look at this equation, alpha naught t plus alpha 1 t into lambda 1 plus alpha 2 t into lambda 1 square, and so on up to m minus 1th term, that will be equal to exponential of lambda 1, that is the first eigenvalue. The second equation that will be set up with the help of the second eigenvalue, and that will be equal to e into lambda 2t, e power lambda 2t, and so on. For all the eigenvalues, you will set up the equation. Let's suppose that there are m number of eigenvalues for the mth order system. So you are going to set up this equation, and then solving these equations, you are going to find out the state transition matrix. So now let's see an example in which we will determine the state transition matrix using the Cayley-Hamilton method. Okay, so let's suppose that we have this state matrix, and this is the same one which we have used in the last example in the Sylvester method. So we are going to solve the same problem with the Cayley-Hamilton method. So matrix A is given like this. So first step is to determine the eigenvalues. So first eigenvalue is 0 and the second eigenvalue is minus 2. So now using this set of equation, we can set up the equation to find out the alphas first of all. So from here you can write down this one, alpha naught t plus alpha 1 t into lambda 1. We have only two eigenvalues, so 2 cross 2 matrix will be there, so these terms will not be considered. This will be equal to lambda e raised power lambda 1 t, and the second equation that will be obtained from here, alpha naught t plus alpha 1 t into lambda 2, and this will not be considered, only this one. For a 3 cross 3 system, you will be considering 3 terms. For a 4 cross 4 system, you will be considering 4 terms, and so on. So our state matrix just consists of is of order 2 cross 2. So we are just considering two equations. Okay, so now from these equations, using the eigenvalues, you can set up the equations like this. Alpha naught t, what is lambda 1? Lambda 1 is 0. So this term is going to become 0, and e raised power 0 t. So you have first equation, and from this first equation, that alpha naught t is equal to 1, right? And from the second equation, now using the eigenvalue, that is minus 2. So first of all, we can write alpha naught t minus 2 alpha 1 t, that is equal to e raised power minus 2 t. And using this value of the alpha naught over here, so we can write down 1 minus 2 alpha 1 t into e raised power minus 2 t, and then we can solve it for alpha 1. If we solve it for alpha 1, we are going to get this equation, or this can be written like this as well. So we have calculated alpha 0 and alpha 1. Okay, now what is the state transition matrix? State transition matrix is obtained with the help of this one, at alpha naught t into I plus alpha 1 t into A, right? So from where we are going to get, that is this equation, because in this equation we have solved it for alpha 1 and alpha 2 for a 2 cross 2 order of the matrix A. We need only first two terms, right? So from this equation we have this part only. So using this one, we can determine the state transition matrix. So that is this part. We have determined alpha naught and alpha 1, and alpha naught is equal to 1 and alpha 1 is equal to this one. So this is our identity matrix, right? And this is our state matrix. So this equation can be written like this. Now using the identity matrix and the matrix A that is given to us, we can find out the state transition matrix that is exactly same that we have obtained from the Sylvester method. So you can determine the state transition method either using the Sylvester method or the Cayley-Hamilton method, right? Okay, now let's look at another example. Let's suppose that we are given with this state transition matrix. The state matrix 0, 1, minus 2 and minus 3, and we want to find out the state transition matrix using the Cayley-Hamilton theorem. So first of all, lambda I minus A. So lambda I is this one, and then this is A, so we can set up this equation. Now taking its determinant, finding out its roots, those roots will be the eigenvalues. So we have these two eigenvalues, right? First eigenvalue is minus 1 and the second one is minus 2. These are basically the closed loop poles of the system whose state matrix is this one. Now we can set up the two equations from the Cayley-Hamilton theorem to find out the alpha naught plus alpha 1 into lambda 1, that will be equal to e raised power alpha 1 t, then alpha naught plus alpha 2 lambda 2, that is e raised power lambda 2 t, right? So from here now you can find out, this is alpha 1. So from here, using the eigenvalues, you can set up these equations. So first eigenvalue is minus 1, so that's why it is, you can see over here, minus t, and this is minus alpha 1. And the second eigenvalue is minus 2, so that's why you can see over here minus 2 and minus 2 over here. So we have these two equations. Solving these two equations, we can find out alpha naught and alpha 1. So once you find out alpha naught and alpha 1, we can determine the state transition matrix, right? Okay, so in the step 3, now you can see just the solution of this one. Our this equation alpha naught, that will be equal to alpha 1t plus e raised power minus t, that is obtained from this equation 1, and from equation 2 we have this one. So alpha 1 is equal to minus t minus e raised power minus 2t, and using this we can find out alpha naught, that is given by this equation. So in the step 3 we have basically determined alpha naught and the alpha 1, right? Then in the next step we are going to determine the state transition matrix, that is given by this equation. Once you determine the alphas using the identity matrix and the state matrix, just using their values, you can find out the state transition matrix. So just plug in the values. This is alpha naught and this is alpha 1, identity matrix, state matrix. So solving it, you are going to get this as the state transition matrix. So state transition matrix is obtained from the Cayley-Hamilton method. Okay, now let's look at this example. Over here we have the 3 cross 3 matrix, right? And one more thing that you will observe in this example, that we have the repeated poles. So let's set up the characteristic equation, that is lambda I minus a. So setting up this equation, we will get this matrix, and setting it equal to 0, you can find out the roots, and these are the roots. So you can see two eigenvalues are same. It means there are two repeated poles in this closed loop system. Okay, so what you will do if you have the repeated closed loop poles? Let's first of all write down the equations that we have discussed to determine the alphas. So first equation, using the first eigenvalue, that is lambda 1. So we have this equation, alpha naught plus alpha 1 plus alpha 1 into lambda 1 plus alpha 2 into lambda 1 square, that should be equal to e power lambda 1 t. The second equation is this one, alpha naught plus alpha 1 t into lambda 2 plus alpha 2 into lambda 2 square, that is equal to e raised power lambda 2t. And similarly the third equation can be written using the third eigenvalue. So we have these three equations, but now we know that there are the repeated poles. So this equation and this equation, these will be same. So first of all we will be only using equation 1, and for repeated pole what we do, we will be taking the derivative of the equation. We will take the derivative on both sides, and then we will set up another equation because we have the repeated poles. If you have the distinct poles, you will be just solving these equations to find out the values of the alpha naught, alpha 1 and alpha 2, and then you will use these values to find out the state transition matrix. But if there is the repeated pole, you will have to modify one of the equation by taking the derivative on both sides, and with the help of that equation you will set up the you will find out the values of these alpha naught, alpha 1 and alpha 2, and you will set up the state transition matrix. Okay, so we have determined the eigenvalues. Now with the help of these we are going to set up the equation. So lambda 1 is equal to 1. So from this equation you can write like this, that alpha naught t plus alpha 1 t plus alpha 2 t, that is equal to e raised power t, right, by taking lambda 1 equal to 1. Then from the third equation we can write down this one. In third equation lambda 3 is equal to 2, right? So lambda 3 is equal to 2, that you can observe over here, and lambda 2 square 4 and e raised power lambda 3t, so that is e raised power 2t. So this is for equation this is equation for lambda is equal to 1, and this equation is for lambda is equal to 2. Now this is the equation for the repeated pole or the repeated eigenvalue. So we are going to take the derivative of this one with respect to lambda 2. So the derivative on both sides, right? So you are going to get this equation. So now you are going to simplify this one by taking the derivative. So if you take derivative, you are going to get this equation. Okay, so now in this equation lambda 2 is equal to 1, so you will get finally this equation, and let me call it equation 6. So you have equation 4, equation 5 and equation 6. Now you are going to solve these equations. Solving these equations, you will get alpha naught, alpha 1 and alpha 2. So you will obtain these values, these expression for alpha naught, expression for alpha 1 and expression for alpha 2. Once you obtain this one, then you are going to obtain the state transition matrix with the help of this equation. Alpha naught, alpha 1 and alpha 2, this is the identity matrix, matrix A, the square of this matrix, and so on. So now using the values which you have obtained above, this is the value for alpha naught, identity matrix, this is for alpha 1, the matrix A, this is for alpha 2 and the square of this matrix A. So if you simplify, you are going to get this equation. So this is the state transition matrix for this particular system for which you were given the state matrix. The state matrix was this one. So in this particular example, we have seen that how we can find out the state transition matrix if we have the repeated poles. In the previous examples, we have only considered the distinct eigenvalues, right? So if I go back and summarize, so we have discussed the two methods. The one is the Cayley-Hamilton method. In the Cayley-Hamilton method, we set up these equations to find out the alphas, and once you determine the alpha, then using those alphas you can find out the state transition matrix. To determine the state transition matrix, this is the identity matrix, this is the matrix A, state matrix, square of the state matrix, and so on, right? So depending upon the order of the system, you will set up the equations and you can find out the state transition matrix. And the second method that we have discussed is the Sylvester method. In the Sylvester method, we set up the equation using this one. Okay, so in this, the last row is basically the last element of this row. This is the state transition matrix. Okay, so that's all from this video. Thank you very much.